Hey guys, this is Jessica Gutierrez with Clean With Me podcast. This is a podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. So let's clean together. Hey everybody, so today's topic of discussion is going to surround around company because I know around this time I get a lot of get-togethers. A lot of people are coming to my house. I've got kids' birthdays in October and December, but besides that, we've got holidays coming up. So I'm going to do our regular house clean, but I'm going to talk about maintaining for company, company bathroom, straightening the house in general for company, or get-togethers. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about like what I do for kids' birthday parties. I'm not going to talk too much about that, so if that doesn't apply to you, don't worry. It's not going to be my main focus. I'm just in that phase of life right now, and I've got a kid's birthday party this weekend, so that's kind of on my mind, so I will bring it up, but mostly it'll be about company. So let's get started. First things first, for those of you that haven't been listening to the podcast lately, my mom is now making episodes again. We're doing a trade-off. I do one, she does one every week. We took a couple weeks off because she was busy with work and so was I, but we're back to doing it weekly. So check out her new episodes. We do label them based on who does them, so it'll say Jessica in the description or Ronnie in the description if it's my mom. For those of you that are new here, I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. I am more of a millennial. I'm 28. I have toddlers, so different phase of life than my mother. She's going to come at it from a different perspective. You can still listen to either one of us if you have a preference on the way we talk or something, obviously. But if you are listening based on demographic, and what phase of life you're in, she's got teenagers and grown kids and grandkids, and she is working full-time from home, so definitely different than what I have going on. I work outside the home, but only 3 days a week right now, and then I have a lot of little side things that I do from the house just to make extra money, and then I have a 4-year-old and an almost 3-year-old. For those of you that already listen all the time, welcome back. Let's get right into it. First thing we like to do here is get ready for the day, get ready to clean. So put something comfy on, make yourself feel better. If I feel ready for the day, I tend to perform better cleaning wise. So I'm not talking getting all glammed out or anything, but if I take a shower, brush my teeth, make my bed, get dressed, whether it's sweats, something comfy to clean in, or what have you, it just makes me feel more productive if I get some kind of ready before I clean. So if that's you as well, go ahead and do that right now. I also like lighting a candle and opening my windows. It just brightens the mood. And since I light a candle every time I'm about to clean, it kind of signals my brain that it's time for me to clean. Sometimes we definitely don't want to clean at all, so we have to make those first steps and just do it. And if you start doing the motions of getting ready, lighting a candle, opening windows like you always do religiously before you clean, then, like I said, it triggers something in your brain that tells you it's cleaning time, and it's at least the first step. So that's why I like to do that. And then after I get ready, I do a laundry switch, which is what we call putting clothes from the dryer to the washer to the dryer, from the dryer to the laundry basket, and then starting a new load. And then by the time we're done with an episode, it'll be time to switch that laundry, and I'll remind you to do that. So you guys go ahead and switch the laundry while you're doing that. I'm just going to briefly talk about the upcoming birthday party I have going on. I'm sure everyone's different. Everyone's got different amounts of money to spend on a birthday party. Some people can't afford birthday parties at all. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can. It just depends. I usually do birthday parties for the big birthdays. Like I did a first birthday party for both of my daughters. I have friends that never do a birthday party, and that's just not their cup of tea. It's super stressful for them, and I completely understand that because it is really stressful. And it's just not for everyone. And so there's been times where I've had to cancel the birthday party for the year because I just don't have the money for it or the time. And we just do something small out of the house with just immediate family. So I completely understand if it's not your cup of tea. The only person I know that does birthday parties, consistently, is my cousin Anna Marie. It's just, she really enjoys it like I do. But I'm just going to, while you guys are loading the laundry and moving into the kitchen to start the kitchen straightening, I am just going to tell you what I do that's easy and cheap. So I found out that renting gymnastics places is pretty cheap. I've done a birthday party at a trampoline park. I've done one in my backyard with like a blow-up house trampoline thing. And that runs about like $120 in Fort Worth, Texas, where I'm from. So when I do it at home, it pretty much is just as expensive, even without the bounce house, as when I do it at a place, because there's different kinds of expenses, and it's also really stressful because you have to keep the house perfect. There's a huge cleanup afterwards. So easiest thing for me to do is do it at a gymnastics place near me. Usually they rent them out for birthday parties. There's like a foam pit, there's trampolines. It's perfect for multiple ages of children. And where I live, they're about $150 for 2 hours. I get all of the cute supplies online. I usually get like a backdrop, a package that includes plates, decorations, and cups of whatever theme I'm doing. It's usually like a 25 pack. I have this down to a science if you can't tell. And then whatever color the party's going to be in, I just get some extra plain cups and plates that are just the color in case we have extra people show up, because I don't want to buy 500 themed plates that we're never going to use again. And then the cheapy leftovers, if we don't use them, I just use them in the home. So y'all should be probably finishing up with the laundry switch by now. Let's go ahead and move into the kitchen, and I want you guys to start unloading your dishwasher or your drying rack and get those dishes put away if you have dishes in there. That way you leave room for the breakfast mess or the mess from the night before. We don't judge here. I've had my days where obviously the goal is to clean up right after you use the dishes, but we don't all have the time for that, or we just are burnt out from our day. Completely understand. Do that all the time. Should I? Probably not. But I'm not judging because I never do what I'm supposed to do. Every day's different. Every day's a different battle. Sometimes I'm just completely stressed out and tired, and your mental health is more important than loading the dishwasher before you go to bed. If you're feeling up to it, even if, and it's not going to hurt you mentally, like I said, the goal is to obviously clean up after we eat, but if we can't do that, I like to just do a thorough pre-rinse. That way, when I do get to loading the dishwasher, there's not any funky rotting food. There's no smells. I just load the dishwasher. Everything's pre-rinsed. There's no food on the dishes, and it's just easy to go and ready to go. Side note, if you hear background noise, I'm really annoyed because I'm driving and there wasn't much background noise, and then this semi-truck just comes right next to me and we're in traffic, so he's just living next to me and creating noise, so that's annoying. Anyway, moving on. So obviously we're not always going to get the things done that we need to get done, but I like to make doable goals for myself, and one of those is that I always pre-rinse, even if I want to rest and not do the dishes immediately after a meal. I try to just make sure, if you have family members that are old enough and able to pre-rinse their dishes, have them do that. That way it lightens the load for you, whoever the primary housekeeper in your house is, or whoever the dishes fall to. If you have teenagers, maybe it's the teenager job. I know growing up, that was my job around the house, was my mom is very famous for coining terms. She always has these little sayings, especially for cleaning. She called it a kitchen rescue or a whole house rescue, or she'd always call that growing up. So growing up, I had to do the kitchen rescue after meals. That was my job. And it sounds corny, but I just always secretly liked it. It was funny. When I was a teenager, I'm like, oh my goodness, my mom's so annoying. But now I appreciate her terms and I use them religiously in my podcast. I guess that's how all teenagers think, right? Okay, so moving on, just start loading the dishwasher or hand washing. I like to start with the least greasy items first, the cups, and then utensils, and then plates and bowls, and then we do pots and pans last. If you have something that is really baked on, you can be soaking that while you're loading the dishwasher. That way, when you get to the pots and pans, it'll come off easily. And while you guys are finishing up the dishes, I wanted to talk about a disaster that happened recently in my house. My refrigerator broke. It was a nightmare. And my kids, they like getting into stuff, so they kept opening the freezer, and I told them not to open it because I didn't want everything to go bad. Everything did go bad. It stunk really bad. My kids kept opening it. My husband was working out of town at the time, so I had to wait for him to take I was able to clean it out, and it was terrible because the stuff in the freezer had been frozen for a while. There was stuff that had been frozen for a while, meat, so it was a disaster. And then when he got home, the fridge still stunk, so we had to put baking soda in it. For those of you that don't know, if you put a little bowl of baking soda in your refrigerator, if there was any weird smells, that definitely does help. It ended up being an issue with the fan, and we got that taken care of and fixed, and it was easy fix. We did not have to get a new refrigerator. Thank goodness. But was it a gross mess that was completely irritating and threw off the balance of my life? Yes. But minor inconvenience in the grand scheme of things. And it had me restart my fridge completely. I had to throw everything out and just do a very, very thorough cleaning of it. So, some good did come out of it, I guess. And for those of you that did not have a refrigerator just break as an excuse to clean out your refrigerator, well, my rule is if I'm about to go, my husband started this rule, if we're about to go grocery shopping, we clean out the refrigerator and the cabinets and throw anything that's expired and check expiration dates. We throw everything out before we go grocery shopping. That way, when we're putting everything back in, we don't have to worry about that. And things aren't sitting out while we're trying to organize the cabinets or the refrigerator. And it keeps our refrigerator and cabinets clean regularly, because otherwise I would never do it, because it's just something I don't regularly think about. But if you have leftovers in your refrigerator or what have you, you clean it out, right before you do your grocery shopping. And then however often you do your grocery shopping, weekly, bi-weekly, every couple days, depending on your household size and stuff, or just your way of life, it gets cleaned out pretty regularly because we have to buy food regularly, so it works out. So that's a good little reminder. And you should be finishing up with your dishes. If you have a very terrible disaster, we've all been there. If you need to just focus on the dishes for the entirety of the show, go ahead and do that. But I'm going to move on to the rest of the kitchen. So we're going to throw away any trash, anything that does not belong, we're going to put that away, and we're just going to clear countertops as much as possible, create as much surface area as possible so that we can wipe it down. If things have found a permanent home on your kitchen countertops like they do at my house, we talk about hot spots, places where things collect. miscellaneous junk that we put there at the end of our day or when we get home from work or whatever. My area is my kitchen island, tends to collect things, so that's definitely an area that I have to regularly look at and make sure there's not any unnecessary clutter that I've gotten used to seeing. We want to look at the kitchen through the eye of a guest in your home. Which, speaking of guests, when we're entertaining, we want to focus on, obviously, we want to focus on areas of the house that they're going to be in the most. So we want to definitely declutter and hone in on the outer area and kitchen area. More so the kitchen cabinets and refrigerator and stuff if you're entertaining and cooking at your house and you're going to have like a mother-in-law or sisters or people from out of town helping you in the kitchen, getting in your cabinets and refrigerator. Ideally, we'll have these clean all the time, but we all get behind on stuff and we think about it when company's coming. So think about everywhere that they're going to be, everywhere that they're going to be getting into. If they're going to be helping you with the food, make sure your refrigerator looks nice and wiped down. If they're going to be getting into cabinets, make sure they're cleaned out. Make sure if you haven't organized your seasonings in a while, now would be a good time to do that. And obviously this is to give you ideas. We're not going to have time to do everything in this episode. If you have time after the episode's over, you can listen to another episode or just write down what I said that you need to do and get everything ready to go. Or you can come back to this episode when you're about to have company. But no worries if you don't have time to do everything I'm saying. It's just to give you ideas so you can do it after the show. I understand you're not going to have time to finish everything. But you should be done throwing everything away and clearing clutter and just clearing off those countertops at this time, putting away any kind of blenders or anything like that we're not regularly using. Clean those and put those away. Clear up in the counter space so everything doesn't look cluttered, and give it a thorough wipe down. If you're noticing stuff on top of your refrigerator, look at the vantage point from your couch. You can see into my kitchen from my living room. I have a very small house. If you have a larger house, that might not be the case, but I always look through the eyes of a guest and sit on my couch, and if like you can see the cabinets in my kitchen, if there's stuff on top of my refrigerator, on top of cabinets where you can see it where you're sitting down on the couch, I clear that off before I have company. And I think about stuff that I don't normally think about because I try to think through the from the perspective of a guest and try to get all the clutter out of my kitchen that does not belong. I am a minimalist when it comes to decor. I don't like things to look cluttered personally. To me, things look a lot cleaner when I don't have a lot of stuff. You might be a little more eclectic and like a more decorated look with a lot of knickknacks and things like that, and that's okay. We all like what we like and have different preferences, but knickknacks are completely okay, but stuff that doesn't belong permanently on your countertop does not. So be able to differentiate what should have a permanent home on your countertops and what shouldn't based on your style. And then once we're done, we're going to use what we like to use most when it comes to wiping down countertops. I like to use Clorox wipes. I haven't had them recently, so I've just been using old cleaning rags and spraying some kind of multi-purpose cleaner. I don't always use chemicals. Sometimes I just use soap and water. It just depends on how messy my stovetop is usually. If you have a gas stove, take off the racks off of the burners and soak those and then give them a thorough wipe down, especially if you're having company, and then wipe down those burners. If you have an electric stove, you could just spray something, a degreaser. I think there's this stuff called the pink stuff that's really good for getting grease build up off of stoves and stuff like that. If you have a self-cleaning oven, I've said this story before. My parents started a fire in our house in New Mexico because they had a self-cleaning oven. They had thrown some nonstick pans inside the oven to hide them because guests were coming. My mom's not perfect. See, she shoves stuff in ovens to hide. That's a bad trick that she taught me. It was either my mom or my dad. I don't know who did it. Okay, but one of them threw nonstick pans in the oven. I had told the story before, and then they did the self-cleaning thing on the oven. It started a fire. They had to call the fire department. We lived in a small town in a small little area, so everyone was on their front lawns watching the firefighters hit our oven with an axe in our front lawn. So don't make the same mistake. Don't make sure nothing's in your oven. If you're doing the self-cleaner, if you're cleaning it yourself, you can use a sponge that's really hard and for tough stains and stuff, or one of those I forget what they're called, the wire sponge things, to get all of the grease and stuff off, and use a degreaser. Let it sit for a good 30 minutes or so, and then wipe it down with a sponge and then a rag to finish it off. And while you're doing your wipe down, just make sure you're getting underneath things that do have a permanent home in your house, lifting up knickknacks, cleaning windows, window seals, what have you. Another thing to look out for if you're having company is your cabinets where you keep your plates, your pots and pans. Those are places that a guest that's helping you cook might look under. It's also a good spring cleaning thing to do is clean out your cabinets and reorganize them. Everybody should probably need to unless you're really on top of things in that area. I usually regularly have to reorganize stuff because over time we put things in drawers they shouldn't be, so it's good to just do a purge and reorganize drawers, especially before company. And all of this deep cleaning stuff, try to do it like a week or at least a few days before you're supposed to have guests. Do not wait till the last minute, if at all possible, because that will really stress you out if you're doing all of these organizing big projects right before company is about to roll in. We want to be able to do just a straighten before they come and a wipe down and just a basic clean of the floors and wipe stuff down before they come, and have all of the hard stuff done a couple days before your party or your get together, or just when family's coming in. And this is going to be a focus on the outer areas, but this will apply to every room when it comes to decluttering. Guest rooms or guest bathrooms, what have you. You want to look in all the areas that they're going to be in. Your guest bathrooms, you want to make sure that all of the cabinets that they're going to be in or might be in and might not, you just want to be over prepared a few days before. You want to make sure that it's stocked with towels, toilet paper, everything that they're going to need, and there's not any clutter or any surprises hidden behind the cabinet doors for them in the guest bathrooms or bedrooms if they're staying in a guest bedroom or something. If you have a larger house, you want to make sure that you've got fresh sheets on the bed and there's not any clutter or miscellaneous junk inside of the bedroom that they're going to be staying in, or the bathroom. So this definitely can apply to any other room. This is just going to be outer areas today though, so let's go ahead and move into the living room. If you're done with the kitchen, if you need to do a spot sweep just so you don't track stuff throughout the house, we're going to do a full sweep at the end of the episode. But let's move on to the outer areas. If you're having company and it's a couple days before company, you want to make sure you're getting underneath the couch, because nothing is more embarrassing. Well, there is stuff that's more embarrassing, but it's pretty embarrassing when your kid, something rolls under the couch or something when you have company, and then your kid wants to move the couch, or your guest is like, oh, I'll help you get something from under the couch, and then there's horror music playing, and there's, crackers and just a scary mess of junk from your toddlers underneath your couch when they go get whatever it is your kid dropped underneath the couch for you. That actual scenario has happened with my mother-in-law, so after that, every time I knew she was going to come over, I made sure to clean underneath the couches. Not that she would care, I just, learned my lesson, and I was embarrassed by it, so I didn't want to have history repeat itself. They do have guards for the front of your couch that you can get on Amazon, or you could take, sometimes on couches, especially if you get it from like IKEA or something, you can take the legs off of your couch if you have toddlers and then put them back whenever they're older. That way it's flush with the floor, so you don't have that issue. We want to clean rugs before guests. You can pound all the dust out if it's a larger rug on a fence or something, or you could just vacuum or shampoo it. If it's a smaller rug, I have a little house with a little rug, so I could just throw it in the washer. But if you have like a really big, sorry I say like a lot, guys, I'm trying to break myself of that. But if you have a bigger rug, you could put it over a fence and hose it down, or just hit it to get the dust out. And again, with the knickknacks, we want to make sure all the knickknacks and stuff in the living room are purposeful and there's not any clutter or unnecessary junk. If we have any storage, I have like a storage ottoman that's in my living room, so that would be something I would check, because that's something my kids would draw attention to if I had company, and they would definitely open that. And if there's a bunch of miscellaneous random junk in there, it would embarrass me. So I would anticipate that my kids are probably going to open every single thing in my living room and make sure that it's all cleaned out and ready for any company. And last step would be just a normal pickup, outer area rescue pickup and vacuum or sweep of the living area. Again, throwing away all trash and just making sure that there's no clutter. Your entryway is the first thing that a guest sees, so make sure that window sills are cleaned off. And when I say make sure, it's just a suggestion. Your family's going to love you no matter what, whether your house is cluttered, dirty, anything. This is just what we want ideally our house to look like. We want we want to give off a good impression, or just make our company comfortable. Even though they would love us no matter what, wouldn't it be that much better if we were able to have a clean house for them, so they were nice, comfortable, and at home, and we didn't have to worry about it or stress about it? Because I know me personally, I get anxiety when I have an upcoming event, and when the house is clean, that anxiety just kind of melts away. And there are different stresses of having company and stuff, but definitely a clean house relieves a little bit of that tension and really helps me to focus on the guest or the food or whatever else I have going on instead of decluttering. And I try to do it a week in advance, or at least a couple days. That way I just have to do, like I said, bare minimum pickup, sweep, wipe down before everybody comes. The formula for the kitchen and the living area is the same for the restrooms. We want to make sure there's not any unnecessary clutter in the cabinets. We want to make sure everything's cleared off and wiped down, and nothing that doesn't need to be on the countertop is on the countertop. So if there's any way we can put away toothpaste, toothbrushes, straighteners, brushes, things like that, what have you, if there's any way we can keep that put away and in cabinets and organized, it just makes everything look cleaner and less cluttery. I'm going to end it on this. Make sure you do a laundry switch. If your washer is a 30-minute washer, it should be done by now. You can sit back and relax and fold some laundry once you're done cleaning the floors and taking out the trash. I like to end my cleaning by taking out trash, cleaning out vacuums, my hand vacuum, my regular vacuum, and doing a pickup and sweep. But just kick up your feet and finish that laundry. If you have some more energy after the episode, you can do extra loads of laundry, do a more thorough cleaning of the floors, etc. You can also rent a shampooer at places like some places, Walmart, grocery stores, and whatnot. You can rent a shampooer if you don't have one, and shampoo carpet if you're going to have company a couple days or a week before. And just do a few little extra things like that, or rugs. But I want to thank you all for listening. Check out cleanwithmepodcast.com. My mom's started a website about the podcast. It's got recipes and more homemaker stuff, cleaning stuff, cooking stuff, everything you can think of. We're trying to build the website to have lots of articles that are going to help you in your everyday life. Hopefully I will add one soon about birthday parties and my little formula for a cheap, effective birthday party. I will also post on the Facebook page about my birthday party for my soon-to-be 3-year-old after I do it. But I thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging in there. Sorry about the background noise today. And as always, happy cleaning.